Where do commas go in sentences? That's a great question, and we are going to find out. We're going to focus on simple and compound sentences for now. We're going to start by looking at lists. A list is a number of items, 2 or more. We could be talking about 2 nouns, 2 verbs, 2 adjectives. When you have a list of 2 things, there's no comma in your sentence. You're just going to use and or. I love and adore my children. Here I have 2 verbs. There's no comma. They're going to buy an oven or a microwave. That is a list of 2 nouns. The situation is different when you have a list of 3 or more things. This could be 3 nouns, 3 or more verbs, or 3 or more adjectives. Still, you're going to put and or before the last one. Let's look at the commas. I have a dog, a cat, and 16 fish. Here I have 3 nouns. So notice that I put a comma after my first noun. After my second noun, I could put a comma here, but I don't have to because I have and here. So that's what I mean here. The last comma is optional. If you look at my last example, I did it the other way. The athlete swims, jogs, and works out every day. Here I have 3 actions, 3 verbs. So I put a comma after my first one, and I did put that last comma before and. This is a stylistic difference, and you can choose. And here I have 3 adjectives. The cat was fat, happy, and healthy. Here I put the comma after my first adjective. This time I decided not to put the last one, but I have to put and. So our first rule was about lists, and our second rule is about compound sentences. When you have a compound sentence, you always put a comma before and, or, but, yet, or so. So remember, a compound sentence joins 2 independent clauses. So here I have an independent clause. They wanted a motorcycle. I have but, and I have another independent clause. They had a scooter. So this is not a list. It's a compound sentence, so I have to put a comma. It stopped raining and the sun came out. Again, I put the comma before my connector word in my compound sentence. And finally, the city was covered in snow, so the schools were closed. Here again, I put a comma before my connector word because I have 2 independent clauses. So, when you're trying to decide if you put a comma or not, you want to think, is it a list or is it a compound sentence? After you decide that, you can think about what commas do we need. She needs help and support in her life. Is this a list or a compound sentence? It's a list of 2. She needs 2 things, help and support in her life. What happens with lists of 2? No commas. She asked for help and her sister provided it. Do we have a list or a compound sentence? Compound sentence. And so I'm going to put the comma before and. Her family included her parents, siblings, and grandmother. Do I have a list or a compound sentence? I have a list of 3. Parents, siblings, and grandmother. 3 different family groups. In a list of 3, I need to put commas. So I will put comma after parents, I have the choice to put a comma after siblings, but I don't have to. Last one. My dream home is big, beautiful, and comfortable. List of 3 again. This time I have 3 adjectives. So I put my comma after big. I can put the comma after beautiful, but I don't need to. Time for you to practice. She speaks French and English. Do I need any commas? No commas. I have a list of 2. 6 people passed the course, but only 5 of them got good grades. What do you think? Did you say compound sentence? So we're going to put the comma before but. Students may register in person or submit their applications online. This is a hard one. This is a list. It's not a compound sentence because we only have one subject, students. There's 2 things that students may do. They may register in person or they may submit their applications online. So these are 2 verb phrases. No comma in a list of 2. Let's do a few more. The best countries in Europe are Italy, France, and Greece. It's a list of 3, so I need to put the comma after Italy. The song was a classic, so it was known by young and old. Oh, this one's a little bit tricky. It depends on what part you're looking at. Here, old and young, this is a list of 2. So no commas there. However, the whole sentence is compound, and so I will put the comma after classic before so. Our last one. We have a new computer lab, but the library is very old. This is a compound sentence, and so we put the comma before but. Hopefully, this gave you lots of good information about where to put commas in your simple and compound sentences. You can look back at this video as many times as you want. Good luck!